Hey guys, it's Melanie. Happy Tuesday. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you a small list of brands that YouTube has never convinced me to buy. I have seen a lot of people do videos titled YouTube made me buy it, you know, and basically the people who are making the videos are sharing either specific products or brands that they were convinced to purchase, watching other people's reviews or other people's just, you know, informational videos about these either specific products or specific brands. And I have to admit that I have a little bit of trepidation about doing today's video because for me personally, the reasons behind some of these brands are just, it's mostly just that I'm stubborn, and if I just don't have an interest in something, then like no one's ever gonna convince me to buy it. Some of these brands are for specific reasons. Others, like I said, just a little bit more generic, as in I just don't see what's so special about them. So I thought I'd go ahead and share this with you guys, despite the fact that I know these are going to be some unpopular opinions that I have. And if you hear any snorting or anything, Lola is just rolling on the, can you guys hear her? She's just luxuriating on the ground behind me. But yeah, so I know that there's probably going to be some like, what? type of reaction to some of these brands. But anyway, this is just my list. And down in the comments, I would love to know what brands or what specific products that you've seen a ton of videos done on that you've never personally been convinced to purchase, despite people saying these are the greatest things ever, they're super affordable and the quality is the best, or they're totally worth the splurge, you know, spend the $150 on this eyeshadow palette. Like, I would love to know what brands pop into your mind. You know, most of us consume a good number of YouTube videos every single day, and there's a lot of information that comes at us, and there's a lot of big decisions to make in terms of like what you want to actually spend your money on. We obviously all work very hard for our money, and when you purchase something, you want to make sure that that thing, whatever it is, whether it's an eyeshadow palette, a lipstick, or you know, a lip gloss or whatever, that thing is going to bring you some kind of joy, that you're really going to like using it, that you like the way it looks on your skin, that you like the way it feels, like the packaging, all of that kind of stuff. So I've got my list here, and some of these things are, well, we'll get to that. Okay, first, BH Cosmetics. I have seen so many YouTubers do videos about different BH Cosmetics, specifically eyeshadow palettes. They tend to crank out a lot of different types of eyeshadow palettes, and BH is actually now available at Ulta, so I've seen it in person too. But originally I never wanted to purchase anything from BH Cosmetics because I could never like see it in person before buying it. You know, like seeing it on camera is one thing, but like actually being able to go to a store and pick it up and see how flimsy or solid the packaging is, or what the eyeshadows or blushes feel like. You know, it's kind of important to me in most cases that if I'm able to, like, I would love to see a product in person before buying it. Ultimately, I still buy a lot of things online because I love to use things like Ebates to get cash back, but I like to be able to check them out in store first. So originally BH Cosmetics was because I just couldn't like find the products in store, and what YouTubers were saying about these eyeshadows just didn't really like do it for me. But once I saw them in person and I, you know, felt the texture and stuff, I still was like, I don't get it. I don't know. I mean, price point, yes. Price point for actually some of these brands that I'm gonna mention is pretty darn good. So I could see that being a selling point for a lot of people. But for me at this point in time, I mean, I'm happy to spend a little bit more money and maybe purchase less things, less beauty products, in favor of just having one thing that I really love. So more of that quality over quantity type situation. So anyway, BH Cosmetics, yeah. Now this is kind of an old school one, but it keeps popping up on my Octoly store, and I'm just like, is Gerard Cosmetics still a thing? Apparently they still are. But do you guys remember back in the day when Jaclyn Hill first started out and she did that collaboration with Gerard Cosmetics, and everybody was buying the lipsticks and the liquid lipsticks and, you know, the little like glosses or whatever that had the cheesy LED lights in them. Not once did anyone convince me, you need to try these Gerard Cosmetics products. Like there's, even now when I could technically get them for free from Octoly, I'm still like, I have no interest. There's just something about the brand that just has always kind of seemed cheesy to me. And I know there was like a huge drama with, you know, Manny MUA and the owner, and all that stuff happened a while ago. But even before then, I was just like, I don't get it. No one ever convinced me. No one ever convinced me, not even Jaclyn Hill. So the next two are kind of, I guess, related. Well, the people are related. Kylie Cosmetics and Kim K Cosmetics. Not once have I seen either of their collections released and thought, you know what? I gotta support the Kardashians. Those girls just, they need more money. I'm not a Kardashian fan, and so I will admit that I specifically don't buy anything from Kylie or Kim K because I don't get the Kardashian like fandom. I don't know what it is that they do that brings a lot of good into the world, I guess. So that's more of like a Kardashian bias on my part, but also with a lot of their products, I'm just kind of like, this isn't that innovative or that new or amazing. You know, there's lots of other companies that make contour kits or highlighters. I mean, what company doesn't crank out like 8 different types of highlighters every single year? I mean, I guess there's maybe an affordability factor there, but I don't even think their stuff is that affordable. If you're a huge Kardashian fan, I totally don't knock you for being one, but I just personally I've never really watched the show. I've never really understood the fame. And it's just, for me personally, it would be my worst nightmare if my daughter grew up to be like any of the Kardashians. It would literally break my heart if she was that entitled and just that materialistic. I mean, any of us who watch YouTube, we have like a certain amount of like materialistic like tendencies about us. You know, we want pretty makeup and pretty things, but I feel like there's also a fine line of, you know, you need to give back and you need to like do good things in the world. You need to volunteer, and you know, there's just lots of other parts of like a personality that are important to me other than just being pretty and, you know, having an Instagram that has like 10 million followers. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know. Anyway, so nothing Kardashian. Even when they sold their stuff at Ulta, like I just always walked right past it. So no thanks. ColourPop. Okay, in all fairness, I did recently try a few of the Super Shock eyeshadows in a little set that I got from Ulta, and it was, I can't remember the name of it. I'll link it down below, but yeah, it had some of the Super Shock eyeshadows in like matte and satin, and then like their shimmer finish or whatever it is. Glitter finish, I guess. But even after trying that one thing from ColourPop, and I've gotten a couple of liquid lipsticks from ColourPop in old Boxycharms, but even after getting that stuff, it never convinced me that I need to try more from the brand. So I understand the affordability factor with ColourPop, but like I said, for me, I would rather have an eyeshadow palette or eyeshadow single or whatever, or lipstick, because they make, you know, glosses and lipsticks too. Well, mostly liquid lipsticks, but, you know, I would rather just spend a little bit more and get one lipstick from like Bite Beauty or Marc Jacobs that I love versus like a ton of, you know, $5 glosses from ColourPop that I'm just kind of like, oh, they're okay, you know? I don't know, there's just something about ColourPop that just doesn't really appeal to me, I guess. And I've seen a lot of this stuff at Ulta now, so I've swatched the eyeshadow palettes, and I think they're nice. And if you are on more of a budget, that is a really great way to go. It's a great way to build your collection, especially if you're younger, or again, if you're older and you don't want to spend a ton of money on makeup. There are people that don't want to, and I totally get that. So, but for me, ColourPop has just been one of those brands that I've always been like, meh. And another one, and this is gonna probably, I feel like this is the one that most people are gonna be like, why? And I don't even have a specific reason, but Makeup Geek. I have a couple of Makeup Geek eyeshadow singles, again, that I got in a Boxycharm, and I tried them, and I thought they were good, but I never had that drive to go and buy more. You know, I love Marlena. She's actually one of the few like bigger makeup gurus, the original YouTube gurus, and I'll get into this in a second here because this plays into the next few that I'm going to talk about, but she's one of the few that I'm still subscribed to. I think she has built an incredible company for herself. She seems just like a very nice, down-to-earth person still, you know, and I'm very proud of her success and how she has, you know, built herself up, especially after her divorces and stuff. So I really admire her for that. But still, with a lot of the products, stuff that comes out, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. It just doesn't draw me in. That's all there is to it. I mean, the eyeshadows are good. Like I said, they're good and they are fairly affordable. The singles you can get for like, I think they're like $5 or $6 or something like that. But still, like even at that price point, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I could get them and I'd probably like them, but I just don't think that I would reach for them, you know? So there's that one. I know that one's a big deal. Lime Crime is another one more from like back in the day that, you know, they had the lipsticks and stuff, and I just was never like into Lime Crime. The packaging, while cute, was a little too cutesy for me even. So Lime Crime was one. The next two brands, and these are the last two that I'm gonna mention. I mean, I could have like a way longer list, but I didn't want this video to be like an hour long. Huda Beauty. I originally started watching her YouTube channel a long time ago, before she really started coming out with a lot of her makeup stuff. But I don't know, I've seen a lot of her releases and I see a lot of people talking about Huda Beauty products on YouTube, but I'm just not into them. They sell them at my local Sephora, so I've been able to like test, you know, the eyeshadows and her liquid lipsticks, but you guys know I'm just not like a liquid lipstick fan, period. Like that's just not my thing. But yeah, there's just nothing that really draws me in about her palettes or her lip products. Just nothing grabs me. And the next one is Jeffree Star Cosmetics. I have never had an interest in purchasing anything from Jeffree Star. I think that I have some personal opinions about, you know, just behavioral stuff in the past that I have, but even putting that aside, you know, the liquid lipsticks, the luminizers, the eyeshadow palettes in the really like wild color combinations, it's just not for me. I go for really neutral, really natural makeup. Today's eye look, which has a little bit of the, what is it, Venetian red from the Modern Renaissance palette. Yeah, I use that in my crease. This is even a little too wild for me, but I was like, oh, I want to do something different. So, you know, it's just, with his products, it's more of like, I'm just not a highlighter person. I'm not a liquid lipstick person at all. And then the eyeshadow palettes oftentimes are just a little too colorful for me. And I've also never been able to see any of that stuff in person, and so I just would not want to buy anything that I couldn't see first, that I couldn't easily return, if that makes sense. You know, there are some things that I will buy blindly off of Ulta or Sephora, but I know that I can very easily return those things in store if I get them and I'm like, ugh, no. I don't like the smell of this, or I don't like the texture of this, or whatever it is. Like, I know I can easily like get in my minivan and drive over to Sephora and return it, and it's not a big deal. But when you're ordering things from like mainly online based companies, it's a lot easier, a lot harder to do the returns. So I'm just a lot less likely to order from those brands. You know, and as far as like other YouTuber brands, I have to admit, and I feel like this could probably get me in trouble too, but I don't watch any of the bigger YouTubers anymore. I have unsubscribed to a lot of the people that I originally subscribed to like 8 years ago, because I just don't find them relatable anymore. So as they're cranking out their own brands, I don't have any connection to them. So it's not like I need to run out and get a Laura Lee eyeshadow palette, or, you know, the Halo Beauty vitamins from Tati. You know, like there's just no connection for me there anymore. And so all of these new brands that are popping up, I'm just kind of like, nah, doesn't really draw me in. So yeah, I feel like what I tend to gravitate towards most, and not that this video is about this, but honestly, I have a lot of like smaller channels on my subscription list at this point. I just, at this point in my life, want to find people who are relatable, you know, people who are moms, working moms, stay-at-home moms, people whose personality types are just, you know, still super down to earth, and who just provide good feedback on products that I'm interested in, you know, and present it in a way that I really enjoy watching. So, you know, not like big production, not like super hyped up, like I'm just kind of at a mellow point in my life, I guess. And so a lot of the bigger YouTubers just don't fit within that anymore. So I know, I feel like this is definitely an opportunity for people to be like, what is wrong with you? And I'm not, you know, I'm not like bashing anyone. It's just, you know, there's just different personality types, and there are people who you are friends with in real life, and there are people who you've met in real life that you're like, I don't think I want to be friends with you. It's kind of the same with the YouTube subscription list. You know, there are people that you will subscribe to and you'll be with for like 3-4 years, and then you're like, nah, we've kind of just grown apart. You know, I know that there have been lots of people who watched me for a long time and then, you know, have dropped away, and it's totally fine. You know, it's just one of those things where you change, you grow, and your interests are different. And yeah, so anyway, I'm gonna end that rant there. Thank you guys for watching. Again, let me know down below in the comments the brands that you just have never been convinced to try, or even if it's specific products, you know, that you've seen everybody hype up and you're just like, no, not into it. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.